time. We are now in studio with Bryon Friedman. Welcome to KPCW and the Community Campfire. How's it going?
It's going great. Yeah.
Great.
Skied powder this morning.
Jealous.
Yeah. We were not doing that. So tell the audience right now just a little bit about a background of, basic five of Bryon Friedman. Who are you? Where you come from? That kind of.
I come from here, man. This is it.
Yes, yes.
Originally Atlanta, Georgia, but moved here when I was 8, and the mountains kind of raised my brother and I here. So it's like mountain boys. Dar, raised us basically. Like at some point, we learned a lot from Dar, and he set the tone, I think, at an early age for our, skiers here, and then eventually that led to ski racing and a ski team, and in the middle there, there was music involved, and I don't know, it's kind of a couple different sides to. I'm a classic Gemini. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I was reading. You did some songwriting on napkins on cross-Atlantic flights. Is that true when you were racing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a little bit of a poetic way of saying it, but I would write on anything, whatever the vomit kits that they give you. If you just needed a pen, right? And obviously I had my journals and stuff too, but when the moment strikes, you gotta if it's a napkin or whatever, anything.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, a little bit about your background specifically with music. When did you start playing guitar? When did you start songwriting? How did it all come to be where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't start playing until I was probably 15. 15 or 16. A buddy of mine, Mike Demkowitz, who lives in town, he's a good old friend, and he was really into the guitar, and we were going to start a band, and we already had a guitar player, so I didn't really fit the mold for that, but maybe we could have 2 guitars, and then so it kind of led to that, and I started plucking this nylon string, and I loved it. I loved it. I was something about it. I don't know, it called, it chose, as they say, chooses you. I tried a couple instruments growing up. I played clarinet in middle school, and
that flowed, yeah.
Yeah, I it was fun, but wasn't my vibe, And then guitar came along. I was like, this is cool. I really like this. I feel like we were playing Pearl Jam, learning Pearl Jam songs.
Nice.
And, yeah, just it was just fun. Yeah, that's all it was. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So the skiing and the influences, it kind of transcends time and space. If you were to sit down on a one-night songwriting session with any artist, past or present, who would it be? You can take a minute.
A one-night songwriting session. I think it would be, I would love to write with a comedian, kind of. I've always said, if I could have one night with a celebrity, I would choose Will Ferrell.
Okay.
A hang.
That's a good choice. Yeah.
So I think we could write some pretty funny material.
Yeah, he uses a lot of music in his stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, if I'm being kind of that's my first reaction, but a musician that I just would love to hang and write with, I mean, it's hard not to choose one of the Beatles, but I'd probably go with I don't know, Jimi Hendrix would be a hang, I think.
Yeah, my favorite Beatle, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't know. I don't know if I could. That's a really hard question. I've never thought about who I would sit up all night writing a song with. I feel Jimmy might be a little esoteric though, to hang with all night.
I like the Will Ferrell aspect.
That to me, that'd be so entertaining.
Plus, that was your gut reaction.
That was my gut. Yeah,
exactly.
Let's go with that one for the cut.
Well, we want to hear some of your music as well in the studio here, and so we were talking a bit off camera and off recording that you wanted to maybe throw it back a little bit to something that you haven't played in a while. Have anything in mind that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I was thinking, there's this old song I play. It's kind of nice groove. It almost has you can't hear it because I'm on guitar, but the keyboard part's kind of Dr. John, New Orleans style. I just remember recording it. It's the first record we made, I was totally green, didn't know what we were doing in the studio, and I listened to it on the drive over, and I was like, I think I want to play that one. Like, that just felt fun. Yeah.
Nice.
It's called Red Handed.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
here it is live from the KPCW studios, Red Handed.
Reaches the red hand high where everyone they can't see now. But the red-headed man on he doesn't act very discreetly. And they all know what he's doing, but nobody tells. You're such a blissful ignorance, can't you hear them wedding bells? Yeah, yeah. And the kids are in the backyard as I pull up to the house. We tiptoe, let's go quietly as he undoes that blouse. And no boundaries or shame in the game as it really come to this. There's no such thing as forgiveness, but there is ignorant bliss. Yeah, ignorant bliss. Ignorant bliss. They can't wash the red from his hands or his thoughts upstairs. But he knows that she knows that we know about everything, so doesn't care. And it goes on and on with the people laughing in the background. What scene is this? It's the one with the guy go messing around practicing. Oh, ignorant bliss. Ignorant bliss. Yeah, ignorant bliss. So smooth, but you got a rough edge. You look like a fool now, you pick him off the bed. You think you're so smooth, but it's really just sad. You look like a fool, yeah, and you got a red hand. Come on, come on, said you got a red hand. You got a red hand. You got a red hand. Yeah, you got a red hand. Got a red hand, you got a red hand, you got a red hand, you got a red hand. He reaches the red hand high where everyone they can see. The red-headed man on he doesn't act very discreetly.
All right, thanks. That's awesome. And you talked about the band and hearing the keys on that. How long's the band been together?
You know, it's been a little bit of a rotating cast of characters, but Gordo's been our drummer since day one, and like he's, you know, that was when it was 2006, I think, when we made that record.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, but the rest of kind of like, you know, unfortunately, like, you know, first bass player he passed away tragically. You know, Will Lovell, who, you know, every time I see someone with an upright bass, I just channel Will. You know, he's a beautiful human and was an amazing like jazz. You know, double bass player. He was fantastic. And right now we got a killer crew though. Like awesome guys. They all rip on skis, and which is like never really had that with the band before. And now everyone's just loves to ski and you know, into it, and it's pretty cool. So we got Max Webb on guitar, Stuart Benner Campbell on bass, Nick Chamberlain on keys, and Matt Gordon on drums.
Well, we're definitely going to get all of you back
Yeah.
in here and for another community campfire.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, no, I'm curious. Speaking of skiing, do you listen to music at all while you're skiing, or are you more like one with nature kind of vibe?
I do not listen to any music when I ski. When I mountain bike, and that's one of my pet peeves, is like, I don't want to hear your music when I'm skiing or your music when I'm mountain biking. Keep it to yourself. It's cool.
Yep.
It's cool. Just yeah.
Even if it's your music, you get
Yeah,
mad.
I don't want it to be my music or anyone else's. It's all good. I know everyone likes to have a good time on the mountain. I don't want to drop trow on that, but I do think it's about being out in nature, and that's what for me.
Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to jump in. This question just came to me, and I wanted to ask you. You were mentioning all your guys and skiing together and stuff, and I wanted to talk about that collaborative process. When you're playing with them, do you write songs with them as well, or is it all like written like you do it separately and then you bring it to them and it kind of gets fleshed out? What does that process look like?
Yeah, for us, it's mostly like me bringing the songs to like that are written, maybe like pre-recorded in some way, shape, or form,
Like a demo.
a demo. Yeah, exactly, a demo, or maybe even, I just go to a studio and get it done, like just because I'm inspired at that time. But then the interpretation for that comes in. It's not necessarily set in stone. There's open interpretation there, and Nick, for example, like came up with this really cool keyboard intro to a new song called "Meet Me on the Moon," and it's cool. Like it's awesome. Like it's unique. It's different. Nothing I would have done on my own. And then Max, the guitar player, he's like a virtuoso. He's really special, and he throws in some really cool vibe.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a little of both, and I'd like to write more with the guys. It's like there's only so much time in the day, and it's easier for me to write alone for some reason. Like that's just been typically the way I've done it. But I've had a few songwriting partners along the way that like Johnny Neal, who I played with for a while. It was this amazing talent. He was in the Allman Brothers in the 90s, and like we wrote together. But like he was a character. Like you could just I was thinking, it was like I kind of already had like my dream guy to write songs with all night was Johnny, and like we did that.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty special.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the Park City music scene, I mean, you've gotten some opportunities here to play with, John Fogerty, you opened for them. That must have been an amazing experience. Is you a little nervous? What was that like?
Oh, yeah. I was like, got the call. I was like, I want to do that. And then I'm like by myself in front of, I don't know how many thousand people were there. And like John Fogerty, come on, Hall of Fame guitar player and songwriter. I mean, he was cool though. Like I went and watched soundcheck. I learned a lot from watching him actually. Watching him soundcheck, he wasn't on stage. Mm-hmm. He was out in the corner of every little part of that little amphitheater and be like, hold on, I'm not hearing the snare back here, fellas. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That was cool to see. And then I was back there like warming up, like nervous, and he's like, that's a nice sounding guitar. He came by and he said, thank you for playing tonight, and that was pretty special. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we want to end the show with another. If people want to hear your music, where's the best place to get a hold of you or the?
Yeah, I mean, you can stream it online. Yeah. All the the streaming situations. You can go on our website, freedog.fun, and you can come see us live. We play a lot of shows in town, more like esoteric kind of solstice shows and things in far out places, not the norm of like just at the bars on Main Street. We're kind of doing different things. So
sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely have to have you and the whole band back. But we want to hear one more song before we end the show today. So what can you play for us to play us out for today's community campfire?
I'm gonna go with a song I wrote with Johnny Neal called River Song. Yeah.
All right. Here's River Song on the community campfire. Bryon, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I get a feeling deep in my time I hear the river flow. It feels like the river running through my veins. I can almost hear it calling my name. River, take me from the mountains through the valley into the sea. Carry me down, but don't pull me under. Oh, sweet river, roll over me. Oh, the wind in the river singing harmony. It sounds like the singing just for me. And I may travel and I may roam. The river reminds me where I come from. So river, take me from the mountains through the valley into the sea. Carry me down, don't pull me under. Oh, sweet river, roll over me. Sometimes the river can be safe and warm. Feels just like my baby's arms that run so fast from the alpine snow, make that river wanna overflow. Sometimes the river can be safe and warm. Feels just like my baby's arms that run so fast from the alpine snow, make that river wanna overflow. Well, I get a feeling deep in my soul every time I hear the river flow.